Here's a statistic that should make every truck buyer pause. According to long-term ownership data aggregated from IC Cars and CarEdge depreciation models, the average midsize pickup now loses over 40% of its value in the first 5 years, while maintenance and repair costs spike right after factory warranty expiration. That means if you buy the wrong truck at the wrong price, you don't just lose on depreciation, you lose twice when reliability doesn't show up. After years of watching trucks roll into service bays for everything from premature torque converter failure to direct injection carbon buildup, mechanics tend to put their own money into vehicles that rarely come back for anything beyond routine maintenance. And interestingly, the trucks they choose aren't always the ones hyped on dealership lots. Today, we're breaking down 4 reliable budget pickup trucks that working mechanics consistently recommend. These aren't the flashiest trims or the highest towing numbers on paper. They're the ones with proven engine families, stable transmission logic, and well-understood chassis architectures that hold up under real-world stress. But here's the twist, each one has a hidden technical reason behind its durability, something most buyers overlook. And the number 1 truck on this list? It challenges everything people think about unibody pickups. Let's get into it. The 2017 to 2020 Honda Ridgeline, built on Honda's global light truck platform and internally tied to the YF7 chassis architecture, is often dismissed because it doesn't use a traditional body-on-frame design. But mechanics know better. Under the hood sits the J35Y6 3.5-liter SOC VTEC V6, part of Honda's J-Series engine family. This powerplant uses variable cylinder management, direct injection, and a forged steel crankshaft with micropolished journals that reduce friction under sustained load. The metallurgy in the cylinder liners and the camshaft lobes has proven resilient over hundreds of thousands of real-world miles. The transmission, Honda's 6-speed automatic with grade logic control in earlier models and the 9-speed ZF-sourced 9 HP variant in later trims, uses adaptive shift mapping tied to throttle position and yaw rate data. The all-wheel drive system incorporates IVTM4 torque vectoring, distributing power laterally through an electronically controlled rear differential that responds to steering angle input and wheel slip sensors. Here's the untold truth. Because the Ridgeline shares significant component DNA with the Honda Pilot and Acura MDX, supply chain volume keeps parts availability high and pricing stable. That reduces total cost of ownership dramatically compared to low-volume midsize trucks. The unibody construction, using high-tensile steel in the B-pillars and reinforced crossmembers, improves torsional rigidity. That translates to reduced stress fractures over time compared to some aging body-on-frame platforms where flex can accelerate bushing wear. Real-world impact? Lower long-term suspension rebuild frequency. Fewer cracked exhaust manifolds. Less driveline vibration. Mechanics consistently report that Ridgelines primarily return for timing belt service around the 100,000-mile interval and routine brake maintenance, not catastrophic failures. Depreciation has also worked in the buyer's favor. These trucks have already absorbed their steepest value drop. Buying at today's market price means you're entering after the sharp curve, improving residual value outlook. Transitioning from a unibody outsider to a traditional legend brings us to number 3. The 2017 to 2018 Toyota Tacoma, particularly the N300 third-generation platform, represents a mechanical philosophy built around durability over refinement. This truck rides on a reinforced ladder frame chassis with fully boxed front sections and open C-channel rear rails optimized for payload compliance. The heart of this Tacoma is the 2GRFKS 3.5-liter V6. This engine uses Toyota's D4S dual injection system, combining port injection and direct injection to reduce carbon buildup while improving combustion stability. The Atkinson cycle capability under light load reduces internal stress and improves fuel economy without sacrificing torque output under high demand. The 6-speed Eisen automatic transmission employs adaptive learning algorithms tied to throttle input and load detection, but the real strength lies in its planetary gear set design, which distributes torque evenly across hardened steel gear carriers. The metallurgy in these gear sets has proven remarkably resistant to shear fatigue. Here's something most buyers never hear: Toyota's supply chain vertical integration, particularly through Toyota motor manufacturing facilities in Texas and Baja California, ensures consistent quality control over frame welding tolerances and corrosion-resistant coating thickness. Frame rust was a concern in older generations, but this era saw significant improvements in e-coating processes and galvanization standards. The Tacoma's suspension geometry uses a double wishbone front setup with coil springs and a leaf-sprung solid rear axle. While not the most comfortable system, it's incredibly simple and robust. Simplicity often equals longevity in mechanical systems. In terms of total cost of ownership, the Tacoma leads the midsize segment in resale value retention according to Kelley Blue Book Residual Value Awards. Insurance premiums remain moderate due to predictable repair data, and long-term maintenance is straightforward because parts compatibility extends across multiple Toyota platforms. However, the Tacoma's ride can feel stiff, and the transmission shift logic sometimes hunts under highway acceleration. But from a durability standpoint, this truck's reputation is anchored in mechanical conservatism. If the Tacoma represents old-school reliability, the next truck balances modern tech with proven engineering. The 2020 to 2022 Chevrolet Colorado, particularly models equipped with the LFX 3.6-liter V6 or the Duramax 2.8 LLWN turbo diesel, often flies under the radar in reliability discussions. Built on the GMT 31XX platform, the Colorado uses a fully boxed frame with hydroformed front rails designed to absorb torsional loads efficiently. The V6 variant pairs with GM's 8L45 8-speed automatic transmission featuring electronic range select and adaptive shift pressure calibration. The deep technical insight here involves transmission fluid formulation. GM revised the Dexron 6 fluid specification after earlier torque converter shudder complaints. Post-2020 builds reflect updated clutch materials and revised torque converter lockup logic to prevent microslip oscillation. That fix alone significantly improved long-term drivability. The Duramax diesel variant deserves special mention. The LWN engine uses a cast iron block with an aluminum head and a variable geometry turbocharger. The turbo's vane position actuator is electronically controlled to optimize boost response while minimizing thermal stress. The diesel's high compression ratio combined with robust crankshaft bearings results in lower peak RPM stress compared to gasoline counterparts. Additionally, the Colorado employs electric power steering calibrated with your rate sensor feedback to improve stability under towing conditions. The Z71 and ZR2 trims add Multimatic DSSV dampers, which use spool valve technology for precise damping control, an advanced feature typically seen in high-performance off-road applications. From a cost standpoint, depreciation on the Colorado is steeper than Tacoma, which actually benefits second owners. You're buying into a platform that has already stabilized in value. Maintenance-wise, common service items include thermostat housing replacements and routine oil cooler checks on diesel variants. But catastrophic engine failure rates remain relatively low when maintenance schedules are followed. The Colorado represents a value play, modern features with matured engineering revisions. And that leads us to a truck that redefines what a budget pickup can be. The 2022 to 2023 Ford Maverick shocked the market by combining affordability with real-world efficiency. Built on Ford's C2 platform, the same modular architecture underpinning the Ford Escape and Bronco Sport, the Maverick uses a unibody design reinforced with high-strength boron steel in critical crash structures. The standard powertrain is the 2.5-liter Atkinson cycle hybrid engine paired with an eCVT. This system integrates a planetary gear set power split device, similar in principle to Toyota's hybrid Synergy drive. The lithium-ion battery pack's thermal management system maintains optimal discharge efficiency under varying load conditions. Here's the under-discussed strength. The hybrid system operates at lower mechanical stress levels due to electric motor torque fill during acceleration. That reduces wear on internal combustion components and improves longevity. The eCVT avoids traditional gear meshing shock, minimizing drivetrain stress. For buyers opting for the 2.0-liter EcoBoost variant, the engine uses direct injection and an integrated exhaust manifold cast into the cylinder head to reduce turbo lag and thermal hotspots. The 8-speed automatic transmission paired with this engine has shown stable performance when fluid intervals are respected. The Maverick's rear suspension uses a torsion beam on front-wheel drive hybrids and a multi-link setup on all-wheel drive models. While not heavy-duty in the traditional sense, the chassis tuning prioritizes durability over off-road extremity. Fuel economy remains one of the Maverick's strongest value propositions, with EPA estimates reaching over 40 miles per gallon combined for hybrid models. Lower fuel expenditure directly impacts total cost of ownership, especially in fluctuating fuel markets. Mechanics report early Mavericks primarily come in for software updates and minor recalls rather than major drivetrain failures. The platform benefits from Ford's high production volume, ensuring parts availability and stable supply chain support. And here's the bigger picture. By entering the market at a lower MSRP and retaining strong demand, the Maverick's depreciation curve remains relatively shallow compared to larger trucks. Each of these trucks, 2017 to 2020 Honda Ridgeline, 2017 to 2018 Toyota Tacoma, 2020 to 2022 Chevrolet Colorado, and 2022 to 2023 Ford Maverick, represents a different engineering philosophy. Unibody precision with shared platform efficiency. Ladder frame durability with dual injection stability. Updated torque converter logic with diesel longevity. Hybrid torque fill reducing mechanical stress. The common thread isn't marketing hype. It's mechanical predictability, parts accessibility, and stable long-term ownership data. If you were choosing based strictly on metallurgy, transmission logic, and total cost of ownership curves, which one would you trust to cross 200,000 miles with minimal drama? And if you already own one of these trucks, what has your real-world experience been? Let's start that discussion below. And if you want more deep dive breakdowns that go beyond spec sheets and into the engineering realities that actually matter, make sure you're subscribed.